said, little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a wig tutorial, and I'm going to show you guys how to cut a long synthetic wig into a bob. So the first thing we want to do is just make sure there are no tangles in the wig, and this works best if the hair is wet. Then you're going to want to define your parting. You're going to want to do this beforehand because it's going to define where you cut the wig and how you cut the wig. Once you have your parting in, you can just decide the length you want it. I was being lazy, so I just measured from the top of my head to my shoulder, and then I used that exact length and made a cut to determine where I wanted the wig to stop. Then you're just going to go ahead and clip the bang piece out of the way. Now we're sectioning off the wig so that we can thin it out. So what I'm doing is just taking the bottom portion of the wig and separating the top, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I thin out my wigs. By no means is this the only way to thin out wigs, it's just what works for me. So whatever way you guys learned it is just what you're going to do at this point. So what I do is take a vertical section of hair, and I take my hair shears and I kind of just cut like I would cut layers. But instead of going all the way down the length of the hair, I go throughout the hair and I cut downwards. Here you'll see smaller pieces and it'll look really wispy, and that's okay because all of this hair will be hidden by the upper layer anyway. So from that one cut, this is the amount of hair I got, and you're going to want to do this all over the wig. So again, you're just cutting downwards and you're just taking a bulk out of that hair. They actually have thinning shears, I believe, and that would have been a lot easier, but I'm not about to buy thinning shears when I can do it with regular scissors. So I'm going to fast forward this, you guys, because it's kind of redundant. But again, you're just going to part and cut and part and cut. And you can tell by eye, or you can eyeball it and see how thick you want the wig, but you want it pretty thin. I didn't cut mine as thin as I wanted it, so I'll go back and do it. And here's all the hair that I cut out. And as you can see, the wig is still very much full. It's just a little bit lighter and more bouncy. And there you can see that part that I cut earlier as my guideline. So now I'm just sectioning off my bang piece because I'm going to cut that last. It's going to be the longest part of the wig, and I want to save that for last. So you guys know the drill. You just put your hair in a ponytail, and I'm making sure that the little guy piece that I cut earlier is facing outward so that I can use it. And then I'm just bringing the hair into a low ponytail. Now, this part was actually pretty hard. You're going to want to do this patiently. Just go ahead and cut about 1 inch underneath that ponytail holder. And try to keep your cut as straight as possible. And this is struggle bus territory. I was really having a hard time cutting this hair. Synthetic hair is thick, y'all. Like, it's not a game out here. Also, please ignore me in my bonnet. This was, it was one of those days. Alright, once you finish cutting, just go ahead and brush out your wig, and you can start seeing it take the shape of a bob. Now I'm just going ahead and cutting that bang piece in a diagonal fashion so that it can sit a little bit lower, because I decided I wanted this bob to be asymmetrical. Now at this point we have a lot of cleaning up to do. As you can see, it's kind of like that whole staircase thing that you got going on in the back, and that's not what we want at all. So I'm going to go ahead and take some clippers and try to clean that part up. So you're going to want to use a steady hand with this, and you're just going to go ahead and take the clippers across, or you can use a comb as your guideline. I know I ended up using a comb a little bit later, but for right here I'm just trying to even everything out. And this is also why you give yourself that 1 inch allowance when you're using the ponytail holder. You're gonna, because you may have a mistake that you make. Now I'm straightening the hair so I can get an accurate depiction of where all the hair sits. That way when I go ahead and cut everything across, everything is nice and even, and when I move my head, there aren't longer pieces in the back than there are on top and on bottom and things like that. Also, I'm not good with a flat iron, you guys, so like I can't curl for shit with a flat iron. I can barely straighten with a flat iron. It gets real. Alright, now I'm going back in with the clippers now that the hair is all straight, and I'm just making sure everything lines up well. This is about to be the straightest bob ever. It's like surgery, you guys. Just be really patient and really careful, and just take your time with this. And here I'm just taking the last pass through the hair, and that just about completes the bob style. Okay, you guys, so this is the unit completely dry, and this is how the cut turned out. So I did make it an asymmetrical bob. I just kind of like how those look on my face more than if I was to just chop it here, although this would probably be really cute too, like it's just an all-around symmetrical blunt bob. But if I ever want to do that, I can just cut that part off. But this is how she falls, and you can see why it was important to thin it out so you don't get that really choppy look once you have flat ironed and bumped it. I could probably take a little bit more hair from the back and from the side, this side here, but for right now, for what it is, I am pretty happy with it. This little piece refuses to lay down, but all in all, the wig is definitely one of my favorites right now. I'm going to see if I can't put some rollers in her and kind of lift this part up a bit just to give her some more body in the front. But yeah, the cut was pretty simple. Just the ponytail method, and then taking like a razor to kind of shape it up and to make everything pretty straight, making sure underneath is a little shorter than what lays on top, that way you don't have like a staggered effect. And if your wig isn't heat sensitive, remember to just go ahead and make sure your flat iron's on a low setting and you're using your hair is wet when you straighten it, or you can use a steamer. I have a steamer, but I didn't feel like doing all of that because I'm lazy and I already had to get out of here at the time, so I was just like, man, this wig just gonna have to be what it's gonna have to be, and if I burn it, I burn it. But thankfully I did not burn her. She's a pretty good wig. I will have the link to her down below. You guys have seen me wear this in another video not too long ago. I wore this wig in another tutorial when I did a brown or black smoky eye, I can't remember which. So this is the same wig, same hair. She's done pretty good. I've washed her only once since then, and she's bounced back. She has just as much body as she did before. and she's just as thick. I haven't lost any hair or anything from the hairline. So I definitely do recommend this wig. And cutting her made her a lot more manageable because she did tangle when she was longer. But being shorter, she does not tangle because the fibers just don't. Like, I can run my hands through her. She's not tangling like she was. Like, not at all. So I do recommend that if you're having problems with your more lengthy wigs, that you go ahead and cut them if length is not like important to you. I think that a lot of shorter hair, you can get away with a lot more colorful styles in shorter versions because it's just not like all out there. It's not long hair and colorful hair and curly hair. Sometimes it's just a little too much. So if you want to wear like an everyday style, like I feel like I could probably get away with this every day. Not a lot of people want to. Maybe if I add some black roots in, it'll look a little bit better. But I would wear this wig to work and wear it every day. So I just really, really like it. And if it looks a little weird in here, it is because I did not turn on all my lights. I don't have on all my lights right now. And so it's a little darker than it usually is. But y'all be okay about that. Anyway, so that's just about it for this tutorial, cutting your wig into a bob. I hope that you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. If you guys want to know about this makeup look, the video should be up already, so go ahead and click on that, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. I love you. Mwah. Bye.